and gentlemen, and then welcome back to NIGAP Center. For those who were here yesterday, I want to say a very big thank you to your time you spent with us on this national course. And for those who are coming first time today, I want you to pay a lot of attention to what we are discussing, because we are actually setting the pace for a new aviation. A new thing is coming. It's already here, but it has to frame, it has to form, it has to have a shape, it has to have a destination. And that is what today's gathering is about. So I want to say a very big thank you to all of you. Many of you made contributions yesterday from the papers we presented. Yesterday we dealt strictly into the founding or the foundation pillars of the UAV, drone, UAS. As a matter of fact, just to let you know that UAV is unmanned aerial vehicle. Some call it UAS, which is unmanned aircraft system. Of course, you will call it RAS, which is remote piloted aircraft system. You can call it drones. Okay, they are all in the same name. And all that which I have just said, in whichever nomenclature it comes, it is regulated by Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Okay? Our job in Tecx is to facilitate the promotion of awareness, create an opportunity for stakeholders to meet, engage, and discuss, and also help to promote the advancement of the technology in a safe, secured, and sustainable manner. That is the objective of Tecx, to create an opportunity that allows you thing called the UAVs in a safe and secured manner. The fact is that the application of UAV is gradually beginning to look like what you now have as AI, which is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is applied in almost all facets of life today. So also the UAV is now applied to in almost all aspects of development, from agriculture to rescue, humanitarian services, to fire, to delivery, to survey, to inspection. The UAV has made life for those who use it in different applications, has made life a lot more easier, because it facilitates the ability to have a program in human interference and delivery in a quick time. UAVs are miniature aircrafts, so they still fall under aviation system, because Civil Aviation Authority holistically and extensively through what we call the drone flyers ID. We agreed that the flyers are, but for people to have, we want to be sure who is flying. The doctor of security in the country, and the understanding of the need for safety of people, property. Of course, of this, and which I'm going to recap with you. And so if this falls, I have shared it already on your table. If this falls within your understanding and acceptability, we can advance it to the appropriate process for adoption. A recap of the summary of the day one of the drone test. Overview. To enhance management and control of lower level RPAS operations in Nigeria, particularly in the area not initially covered by Part 21, which is the regulation, which are drones below the ground. Operations RPAS segment of the ecosystem have grown tremendously, with instances of conflicts with conventional aviation operations, and in recent times, growth has been attributed to proliferation of various drones and persistent safety and security concerns. Remark. To address this action through regulation, steps have been taken at various levels of engagement, including proper registration and flyer ID. Discussion has been at this conference yesterday relating to the proposed national drone flyer identification. The following are the responses. Delegates agree that flyer ID is the enforcement of regulation and address the safety and security concern of use cases of drone in the open category below 250 grams. 2. Delegates agree that NCA should proceed with this scheme as it is applicable in other countries.
3. That they agree that this flyer ID in this category does not replace the other drone registration or operational permits processed that are used for commercial operations such as the ROC or operator's license. 4. Delegates agree that the need for continued consultation is important with stakeholders and the process should be open for wider stakeholders' feedback through online call for suggestions. 5. Delegate praise the NCA for the support of granted in listening.
Finally, under this leadership by First Scam and Captain and the great impact is expected through the development of
also left this paper open to possible intervention. So if you have
who will come and collect the papers. So this is what we've done today. Any questions? You're writing it down. Just give you maybe like about 4 minutes to go through it yourself. You know, if you want to put it or you there are corrections, plus, you know, so we can, if you want us also to discuss some of the points, we can discuss that. Well, as we like to also remind you, we had an ugly case yesterday where someone stepped onto the podium and his phone was stolen. So it happened before, but you know, things sometimes there could be. So we're making sure that you know you are aware there could be bad apples and you should be careful and vigilant also. Thank you.
Yeah. Do we have questions, please? Or is there anybody who wants to add from what has just been said? Thank you very much. The man is going to the car.
levels of development of process. One said is strategic. Strategic is and in some cases the but there are processes which goes beyond us, which goes the level is international.
Too loud. It's not here. No, sorry. You are very loud. That's what I mean. Please come to make that do that. Thank you. Before we continue, I would like to also introduce, ask that those who are here, may I also recognize here seated Dr. Aminu Meda, Executive Vice Chairman, having said that, without much of you,
the person will be Atuku Aliyu, Director SFT Administration, to have the statement. Please continue to clap.
Good morning. My name is Rabia Tugu, Director SFT Administration. Vice Chair, Executive Officer of the Administration Department, of industry, invited guests, members of the press, to join you in industry as guests of the home. At the 6th 26 held here at Niagara context led by the 42 stakeholder in the sector, new drone
recognition, the topic actions and manage the rapid growth of the educational category of drones.
Framework. A policy framework is a document that itemizes all the players, all their roles, and a national ambition on what you will need to do with the technology. If you see today, let me give an example. If you see today, you'll find out that America, right, is suddenly trying to acquire what? TikTok. Okay? From the highest level of government, because America has a deliberate policy to control all technology advancement and how it affects multiple of people. And that is also embedded in their security ambition to remain a global domineering factor in security in the world. So for drone industry in Nigeria, Nigeria also have, just like every other technology, Nigeria has to set an ambition. I can tell you 1,001 opportunities that we have lost because we do not have a national ambition and strategic documents to channel people's efforts in a particular direction. The era of computer technology came and Nigeria never got anything out of contact center that drifted from all over the world to India, to China, to India, to South Africa. Today, we compete seriously with South Africa in terms of GDP and dominance in resources. But you can agree that the only thing we have that is doing well for us is the oil. But we have something much more than that. We have an intelligent and well-educated and enlightened populace that should be able to take advantage of technology, and which we are not. It is our ambition that the drone technology does not pass us by. As you already know, that countries like Rwanda, Uganda, and South Africa and Ghana are actually fighting and struggling in terms of who becomes the dominating factor when it comes to this drone technology. So what we are doing now is to set a policy framework that will help us to advance with a strategic national ambition to direct all players, monitor, manage, coordinate, and advance in a safe, secured, and sustainable manner. This process has been developed by other countries. Not only set the country's aspiration, but also facilitate multi-level engagement and trade, allowing the industry to become a vital national asset for growth. What is the expected outcome? What are we expecting to achieve in this? The national policy work is expected to deliver such outcomes like the outcome of this proposed commonly known as drone. Industry evolution, a safe, secure, and responsible and regulated manner, allowing Nigeria to optimize the industry potential and opportunities both now and the future. All right. Well, I've attended fatherly age, so please pardon me. All right. Additionally, the proposed work will help establish a national ambition that highlights the multi-sectoral and multi-application nature of this technology. It will address various development and trade needs. It will position the country as a competitive player in this emerging sector and generate wealth for its citizens. The initiative aims to bridge gaps in the entry, management, and operations of UAS, which differs from those conventional aviation, and to serve as a guidance tool to rapid industry development, complementing the manned air transport sector. So these are the expectations and the deliverables at the end of the development of the national policy framework. Now, primary consideration. What are those factors that we need to consider in developing a national framework? The envisaged framework will encompass 4 primary areas: policy structure to address the sector's current position and its potential, thereby preparing to advance UAS across all possible uses. 2, to articulate and engage innovation and enterprise development. 3, to plan and coordinate multi-user airspace, leading to what we call the advanced air mobility. Advanced air mobility is the next step in the UAS development. Advanced air mobility is the term that will usher in an era where drones become part of air transport services for movement of people, cargo, and all. 3, to harmonize with Regulation Part 21 and compliance with Regulation 4, to encourage research, and development and engage our people in all area of human endeavor as they utilize this technology. So, ladies and gentlemen, this session of this conference will allow you stakeholders to begin to respond to this factor. It is not a hidden factor anymore, but it is one that will, like the DG said, I have come here to deliver a short, precise message, impactful, that will transmute this industry to the next level. So, and that is what this is all about. So to begin this process, my distinguished colleagues, I would also like to join us. Engineer Balan, please, if you can join us to the table, because you are part of this, the development of the national policy framework, and you should join us in this discussion. So, we will be looking at, please, okay, you can come and see. So, we will be looking at some key areas. One, what is this framework? If I haven't explained it well enough, the panelists may be able to give more thoughts. Two, what is the expectation of the nation relating to the UAS and how do we prepare the country? Three, the importance of multi-agency collaboration. Four, the need for a standard directive for UAS. The standard directorate for UAS as NCA to articulate the entire process. So, this is the scope of this panel discussion, and our representative from the Office of the National Security Advisor, I will call you first to respond to us in your presentation and keynote. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Standing on existing or established protocol, I want to thank you. And, I am Commodore O.C. Ubanu, the Deputy Director of Defense Affairs at the Office of the National Security Advisor. And over the next 10 minutes or thereabouts, I'll be delivering a keynote. I'll be responding basically to the points raised by the organizer. I'll be doing that on behalf of Malam Nuru Ribatu, MNI, the National Security Advisor. So I start. It is with great honor and a deep sense of responsibility that I deliver this keynote address on behalf of the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuru Ribatu, MNI, who is unavoidably absent due to other national engagements. Therefore, I extend his warm regards to all gathered here, and whenever I say I am referring to the National Security Advisor. I'm delighted to be here this morning to identify with you on this memorable occasion of the 6th Drone Technology Conference and Exhibition. The theme of this year's conference, determining the future of unmanned aerial systems in Nigeria and integrating a systemic approach to drone proliferation control in advance, is not only apt but timely. The rapid advancement of civil drone technology has created new opportunities for economic growth and operational efficiency across such sectors as agriculture, infrastructure, oil and gas exploration, and security. However, these opportunities are accompanied by evolving risks that require deliberate regulation and oversight. In Nigeria, our approach is to ensure that drone operations are conducted within a secure, structured, and accountable framework that protects national interests while enabling innovation. This is the essence of civil drone security clearance and end-user certificate regime, both of which are central to maintaining order, safety, and national security in the use of unmanned aerial systems. Civil drone security clearance in Nigeria is a systematic process designed to regulate access to the national airspace and ensure that authorized individuals and organizations operate drones within Nigeria. The process begins with formal application and documentation by the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA for short, where operators provide details of the drone, its specifications, and intended use. This is followed by rigorous security vetting conducted by the Office of the National Security Advisor, relevant agencies, and the potential risks associated with the proposed operations. Successful vetting, the remotely piloted aircraft operators certificate, ROC, for short, is granted by the NCAA with clearly defined operational parameters, including designated airspace, altitude restrictions, and restricted technology, is intended strictly for lawful purposes and will not be diverted or misused. Given the dual-use nature and ensuring accountability, the process involves detailed application, submission of technical and ownership information, and comprehensive security screening before it is granted. Beyond import controls, the end-user certificate strengthens the government's ability to track and monitor drone usage throughout its life cycle, thereby reducing the risk of unauthorized access or deployment by criminal or hostile elements. Globally, the use of end-user certificates and strict drone regulations are well-established practices, such as in the United States of America, the United Kingdom, China, and India, who implement similar frameworks to safeguard their airspaces and national security. Nigeria's adaptation of these measures reflects its alignment with international best practices and its commitment to responsible technology governance. As we move forward, the objective remains to strike a balance between fostering innovation and ensuring security. Civil drone security clearance and the end-user certificates are therefore not barriers, but enablers. Mechanisms that provide the structure necessary for sustainable growth in the drone sector. The Office of the National Security Advisor remains committed to strengthening these frameworks and enhancing interagency collaboration to ensure that Nigeria continues to benefit from drone technology in a safe, secure, and accountable manner. Additionally, I want to assure you of the determination of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, to end the cycle of insecurity that have casted a shadow of fear on the citizens of our beloved nation over the past decade or more. In conclusion, I want to most sincerely appreciate the organizers of this conference and exhibition for the wonderful initiative. It's my belief that by the reason of this 6th Drone Technology Conference and Exhibition, we have started taking practical steps towards promoting civil drone technology in the country while curbing the spate of unauthorized use of the technology. Once again, thank you, and I wish you all a fruitful and very rewarding session.
We will take the second response and also in form of an address, please.
Good afternoon, Stanley on our existing protocols. Good day, everyone. Standing on already existing protocols. My name is Captain H.O. Ikimi, Regional Head of NSIB Lagos. I'm here on behalf of the DG, NSIB, Captain Alex Badi Jr., who can't be here because they have some other engagement and assignment. So, for the benefit of those that don't know what NSIB means, NSIB is Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau. So what we do is we handle accident investigations, marine accidents, air accidents, road accidents, as the case implies, rail accident, pipeline accident as well. And it's totally a no-blame scenario. So what that actually means is that we don't investigate accidents to pass up blame. We investigate accidents to mitigate the risk so that there are no future occurrences. And that's what NSIB does. So the content of the presentation, introduction to drone incident investigation, objective of the investigation process and key steps, tools, techniques and frameworks, challenge and future trend in drone investigation. Okay, spoken about this already. Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau again. It's an agency charged with the responsibility to investigate transportation accidents and serious incidents occurring either in or over Nigeria or occurring to Nigeria registered aircraft, ship, train, or vehicle as well. The fundamental objective of NSIB is to improve transportation safety by determining the circumstances and causes of transportation accidents and serious incidents, providing safety recommendations intended to prevent the recurrence of similar accidents
advisor. We are very delighted that this year we have in our midst at least to speak to us. So this is a very big development or advancement to all our relationships, and I want to say thank you very much, and by extension, thank you to our dear Roberto for making it possible for you to be here. So let's discuss this aspect. I think if you will allow me, MC, I think we have we're not going to switch. What I wanted to do is bring the second session up with us to make a more robust discussion, and then you can join in the moderation. Ako Worldwide, is he here? Okay, so you can join in the moderation. Is that okay? It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to try and because of time, I'm going to try and extend an invitation to our very distinguished guest, the representative of the Controller General of Customs, to join us as we are trying to create a more robust discussion, and it would be good if we put all the sessions, second session and this first session together. So please, Mr. Ahmed Labar, please can you join us to the podium? He's my friend, yes. Thank you very much. Welcome. Yes, please. You can sit. Yeah. Okay. And then I would also like to call, I don't have the names, please. Yeah. The representative of the CEO of Apple Worldwide, please can you join us, madam? Yes. Okay, Mrs. Olabisi Ann Temedara, thank you very much. Please, yes, you can have a seat. Okay, so I'm going to do your work, MC, a little bit, and then we can now proceed. But, yeah. Okay. Okay. So we now have everybody here. Okay. So, Mr. Labara, if you will permit me to call you for your presentation, please, at this point. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fortune, my very good friend. I would like to stand on the existing protocol. I'm Deputy Controller of Customs Ahmed Abraham, the head of Geospatial Intelligence Unit. Nigeria Customs Service comply with World Customs Organization global standard by aligning its drones importation policy with international trade agreement and practice. The technical barrier to trade established by the World Customs Organization aims to ensure that national regulation and standards do not create unnecessarily obstacle to international trade. In the case of ECOWAS, there is a specific tariff classification and duty rate that apply to drones. But before 2022, drones were classified as aircraft, spacecraft, and their parts thereof. So, but now, the role of Nigerian Customs Service in drones importation and control. The Nigerian Customs Service play a role in enforcing import restrictions, regulating import within the country. As the main agency responsible for border control, the Nigerian Customs Service ensure that all imported goods, including drones, comply with relevant laws and regulations, specifically drones importation. The Nigerian Customs Service is responsible for verifying import documents, such as from end, pre-assessment, arrival reports. That is, we call it PAR. It's a document for that if you are bringing any good to the country, as long as the goods are new, there's a need for you to obtain a permit. So we all do that in customs. And we preventing the entry of unauthorized or improper documented drones through its anti-smuggling operation. The Nigerian Customs Service identify and intercept drones that are misdeclared or concealed inside some goods or imported without necessary approval. In such instance, the service has the authority to seize your drones and also to initiate a legal proceedings against the offenders. If you don't have any user certificate or any certificate that allow you to bring the drones, we intercept the drones in the airport or in the seaport, and also we arrest you as well. The legal requirement for drones importation in Nigeria. Importing drones into Nigeria is not prohibited. It's not a bad thing. Anybody can import drones to Nigeria. But let us see how it works. But it is subject to strict regulation due to the security concern. One of the primary requirements for importing drones is obtaining a user certificate. That is EUC from the Office of the National Security Advisor on that. We have the representative here. So this certificate verifies that the drones that you are importing will be used for a legitimate purpose and does not pose a threat to the national security. So additionally, importers must adhere to all custom procedure, including making accurate declaration, paying the necessary duties, submitting relevant technical documents while importing the drones to the country. The seizures of drones and enforcement trade in Nigeria. Recent seizures data highlights the growing challenges of illegal drones importation in Nigeria. Between January to April 2025 only, that was in 24 months, that was last year. In Apapa Command, the Nigerian Customs Service recorded multiple interceptions of drones and related equipment. At the major entry point. At the Apapa, several consignments containing drones and other control items were seized, worth estimated value of 900 million. That is within just a period of 3 months. We seized drones in one port, worth 900 million. And Naira, it's not money. Yes. So that is only for Apapa Command. That was last year. This year we have also some multiple interception from the airport here and the Federal Operation Unit as well. Okay, let me just go to, in custom, drones are classified based on their use, their functions, and their takeoff weight or carrying capacity. If you are classifying drones, before giving you a duty on drones, that is when you obtain your end user certificate. There are some 13 things that we have to look into those drones. What is the purpose of that drone? That is the use of that drones. What is the functions of the drones? And what is the takeoff capacity of the drones? That is the carrying capacity. What the drone will be able to pick up. So drones are categorized for civilian use and also for military use. That is in our own book, classification book. So the civilian drones, we call them drones that are used for mapping, for agriculture, for commercial use, and for education, for exhibition. This is what we are doing here. We put it under civilian use of drones. But the military drones are used solely for military, for security purposes. The Economic Community of West Africa States, ECOWAS, Common External Tariff 2022 to 2026 classified drones under Chapter 88. This Common External Tariff is a book that we use in classifying goods. So we classify drones under Chapter 8806, drones with the maximum takeoff weight of 250 grams fall under thoughts. Just maximum take-off weight of the drones if it is not more than 250 grams. So that category, with the duty rate of, they pay 5% rate of duty, and also they have to pay 7.5% VAT. But those categories of drones, actually they don't require any user certificates. Any drones that have just only 250 grams take-off capacity, not the weight of the drone. What the drone will be able to, you don't even need a user certificate. You only just come and pay your 5% rate of duty, and 7.5% VAT will allow you to do that. Drones that fall under Chapter 8806 and 94 require a user certificate and can have up to the maximum takeoff of 150 kg. In our own book, we can allow both the military, both everybody to bring the drones that can have up to the lifting capacity of 150 kg up. But anything other than more than that, so it's not allowed, and it requires a serious government intervention. And those kind of categories of drones as well, they pay 5% rate of duty and 7.5% rate of duty. The major concern of customs is to balance security, safety, compliance, and trade facilitation. The NCAA are talking about compliance. The ONSAG are talking about security. We are talking about trade facilitation. We want you to bring more drones so that we get more duty for the federal government, not for ourselves, not for customs, but for the federal government. So what we normally do, we try to see how we can balance the security, the safety, and the compliance, as well as trade facilitation. However, there are some gaps that need to be filled in the current drones regulations. I'm part of the drone National Task Force for drones, and also I'm part of the committee that are developing the national framework for drones presently now. So me on my own side as a customs officer, I have identified some few gaps. Those gaps are permit for drones for use for exhibition, because in the real sense now, if I want to do justice for my uniform, any drones that is here that don't have an end user certificate, that don't pay duty, I'm supposed to call my boy from Federal Operation Unit to come and pick it. So, but it is not their fault. This is exhibition. Exhibition is a global war. It's done everywhere in the world. But for the drone purpose, we're supposed to have a permit. Somebody who is from Ghana or somebody who is from Cote d'Ivoire is supposed to come for this, and if he's coming to Nigeria for this exhibition, the only thing he just needs to is just for him to get a permit for exhibition, drone exhibition. So he can take his drone from Ghana to Nigeria. If it is 3 months, we can give him 3 months. If it is 2 weeks, we can give him 2 weeks. We do everything he wants to do and take it back to. So this is a gap to us because we don't have it presently. And then the second one is, we call it temporary importation permit. Most of the aircraft that you see in the country, in customs, they are all under temporary importation. We call them temporary admission. Sometimes we call them temporary admission. It's part of the Istanbul Convention of 1990. Anytime you are bringing an aircraft or container to the country, the container itself, not what is inside the container, that you don't need to pay duty for that container. So it allows a free entry of that aircraft for a short period of time because it's under temporary admission. Then you are going to take it back. So most of the drones actually can as well as come for temporary importation. Because under temporary importation, somebody who is a researcher can decide to say that he needs a temporary importation permit for him to bring his drone to Nigeria to come and do his research with the permission of the National Security Advisor or whatever. So he don't need to follow that long queue of going to the NCA, going to the NSA, as long as the permit will be able to cover him for that period of time. He's supposed to enjoy that privilege. He's supposed to have that privilege. Then we have also, we lack what we call permit for repair and returns. Most of those aircrafts here, drones here, we do not manufacture them here in Nigeria. They were manufactured from outside the country. So therefore, the spare part also were manufactured in outside the country. No matter how you say that this is bad on those aircraft, some of the manufacturers will want you to take them back to their manufacturer, put them inside their engine, and also check what is supposed to be done. So actually, we do have for any other goods, we do have permit for repair or for return. You can decide to bring a drone to the country after using the drones for less than a month, and the drones fail, or you discover that it has some technical problems or factory problem. So you can still return that drones to your country. But for here, if you meet me in the airport, or if my voice calls me, I will say, no, we don't have fully. We don't have that permit. We don't have it on. It's a kind of a gap in our side. So we are, to me, I put it as a gap to customs, because at the airport or at the seaport, we do have some people that want to go back and repair, but we told them that we don't have that gap. And okay, I've already mentioned the permit for temporary admission. The temporary importation and temporary admission is almost the same. So the Nigerian Customs will remain focused on preventing violations of import protocol, illegal drones, importation, penalties, and action for import and export offenders. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so Madam, I will have to give you an overview of this and get so we can start the discussion. My job will be tailoring the talk on the coming of the policy framework, and your job will be tailoring the talk on the issue related to security and safety and control of the yes. Huh? Yes, it's going to come up. So, but let me give this to you first.
Thank you very much. Thank you, panelists. My name is Amta Budara, representing my managing director. It sends his regards to be able to be here with us. My moderating session is supposed to be on drone configuration, systemic implications, systemic implication and controls. Systemic implication and control. Okay, so thank you for that. Thank you, Engineer Banan, for being here, and thank the DG for attending. Particularly impressed with the panelists, because I do have a couple of questions, so I'm happy that we have a representative from the regulator, from the Office of the National Security Advisor, Customs, and from the safety angle to our operation as well. So thank you, Ms. Porter, for this excellent job done. As an ROC holder, our job is largely to fly for different clients. And we are impacted with the various concerns regarding flying UAS in the general concern also has to do with safety as it affects us from the unlicensed drone operator. We also have concerns regarding incidents that happen from time to time, near misses and so on. Even risk assessments, what you do when you have a new project, how do you do that. But as a licensed operator, we have to ensure compliance. But that's what makes us to be highly regulated in the first place. So just a bit of data. I think in 2026, it's estimated that we're going to have over 10 million commercial drones globally, right? In Nigeria alone, we have over 30 ROC holders and hundreds of unlicensed drone operators. Now, the barrier to entry is higher now. It used to be expertise, but that itself is a threat now because a lot of people have expertise to fly drone, and that is impacting the security, the Nigerian airspace. So essentially, the people we have on the panel are representing the serious pillars that are holding the Nigerian airspace regulations together. So we're very pleased. So over the next few minutes, I will be asking questions. I just want to set the tone. I'll be asking questions from the representative of NSA, Customs, NSIB, and from the regulator. So I hope that's fine.
Thank you very much. Okay, so to start this, I would like us to have just a quick one from Engineer Balang, whose office is actually the umbrella, that is the one that holding the umbrella under which we all reside in the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. It's called the FSG Group, which is Flight Standard Group. All right, so Engineer Balan, please. We have two subjects here. One is the one that deals on the national policy framework. How do we articulate who the industry as it progresses, creating a national ambition? What is the national aspiration? I'm happy that Mr. Labaran eloquently expressed the aspects of the and the implication drones are not in Nigeria, but you must follow the process. So I'll be talking on the issue of the national policy for work, and my colleague here is looking also on the drone proliferation, security implication, and systemic control. So these are subjects that are advancing the technology, and we have a subject that's sitting right opposite it, right? That can restrict the technology if it is not well addressed. I want you to please throw some light to these two opposite facing aspects while we use that as a start in the discussion. We have two subjects in this matter. One that deals with the advancement, which is putting up a policy framework that allows the industry to grow. The other one is the subject that can resist or restrain advancement, the issue of proliferation, safety, security implication. So these are two contending subjects, and that is what we're here today. We want to clear the road for advancement by taking care of the safety issues, proliferation, and all that. If you can throw some light in this area, that would be great. Thank you.
Can I start off? Let me start off, yes. Okay, so thank you very much for the opportunity to say everything that you're doing. And I also like to stand on already established protocol. I'm looking at the panelists, right? These are all people have had one thing or the other to deal with. And that gives me some comfort. When you, and I love the drone space, because I'm one person that don't like making preparations for things. I like new things. So, so that's why I didn't really put my mind, on the topic he gave me. And thank God for that. I had a very good sleep. I didn't have to worry myself. And on a very serious note, because drones are new. They are new. I'm the chairman of the Flight Standards Group within the NCA. So the Flight Standards Group manages the 3 technical directors within the NCA on safety oversight. So one is the Director of Airworthiness Standards, that is me. And then there's the Director of Aerodrome and Airspace Standards. And then there's the Director of Operations, Licensing, and Training Standards. So all those directorates oversee the manned aviation. And manned aviations, the rules are clear. The rules are very clear. There are ICAO standards, very clear cut, to deal with. That's one. And then secondly, in manned aviation, like I always say, manned aviation, by the time the aircraft is designed and issued a type certificate, it's already known what the aircraft is going to be used for. It's very clear cut. It's going to carry passengers, it's going to carry cargo, all those are already cut. You can't see the aircraft coming into use and then you begin to use it for something else. In the unmanned space, there are 2 categories. So there's one that is almost in the category of the manned aviation. So that one also, you can also cut out what is going to be used for. There's the other part that is not certified. It doesn't fall under the category of type certification, right? There are no strict requirements around it. So those ones, they determine what you use them for. So if you just pause for a minute, for a manned aviation, I can list out completely, very definite number of things I can use any aircraft that is manufactured. Very definite. On this other side, no. A young man sleeps, he dreams, and then the drone will do what he dreamt about. That is true. Because these guys are painting, they are doing agriculture, they are doing things. And aviation, because it's aviation thing is theirs. But tomorrow you hear the Ministry of Science and Technology doing something about it, and you think that it's getting into the aviation space. So that makes it very, very interesting. And that is why I find it very, very fascinating. Because I don't have to do much of the talking. I do more of the listening from the users. For the manned aviation, I tell you, if you come for any certification within the NCAA, we will tell you very clear-cut requirements that you have to meet and what procedures you have to write to operate safely. In the other world, no, it's risk assessments. And I'm not going to determine what goes into that risk assessment. In fact, the operator will be the one to determine, how safe that operation is going to be. Hello? So that makes it very, very interesting. And you see, that's why I don't have to spend time trying to prepare presentations that I want to come and make here. So it's against that very backdrop. When we say we want to draw a national framework, like, you have to be careful here. The framework is very, very, it has variables. It can't be a rigid framework like I have for the manned aviation. This is one point I want to make here. That is a framework, is a take home. So we want to make framework, we need to make a framework, but the framework has to be what? Very elastic. The users of the system will come and they can shift the boundary of that framework, and that framework has to be designed in such a way that it allows for the shifting of the boundary of the framework. Yes. You get it? This is very, very important, because and I see the players, because we've been having very interesting engagement with all the players here. And actually, I see every of them very interesting story. So if I start with the customs, it's a bitter and sweet story. Because my son's drone that I bought for birthday in 2024 is still with the customs today. And you know, and I'm the regulations committee chairman, and I remember that they collected the drone, and I had a laptop, I had the draft of the regulation. Yes, actually 2023. I had the draft of the Civil Aviation Regulation 2023 that is out now. And I opened it with customs. I said, see, I'm the chairman of the regulations committee. This, below 250 grams, look at the draft. He said exactly what he said. About he said exactly what he said. And you know, I was very impressed with that, because it gave me comfort that despite the sayings that appear to suggest Nigeria to be a banana republic, it's not. Yes, when the country makes a policy, the policy works. And it doesn't matter who you are, you will respect the policy. I did not have an end user certificate. The drone did not come in. My regulatory framework on how the regulations are going to be did not save me. It's a very important take home. You know that we have to take from here. There's nothing negative about it. But when you also hear, the regulation is not static. This enforcement are not static. You know, he explained how the 250 grams and below are now being treated. In fact, we have a letter with the Office of the National Security Advisor, and this is also coming from the multi-agency task force, where we've made a case to the Office of the National Security Advisor to give exemption on end user certificate for the 250 gram. And the Office of the National Security Advisor is looking at that, because those things are like bees. They're actually looking at that. And the interaction we are having it is so good. I don't know how to say it again, but I just have to say it here. NSIB. And you heard the NSIB presentation. They work on Annex 13 on accident investigation. That is it. And that Annex 13 is designed for manned aviation accident investigation. You get it? And with the drones now, will that fit? A lot of the drones that we have today now, they're not even international in nature. Many of them. Most of the things that we're dealing with today, they're domestic drones. Most of them fall outside the requirements of Annex 13. Because what that tells us now, we now need a new thinking cap on how to deal with this particular category of things. Do you understand? Should we deal with it? Or should we empower the drone operators to have strong safety management system to be able to take care of these things, and for the bigger ones, step in? Very important. ACO. Apple, again, we had, but let's clap for Apple. I mean, they are the first, we call it approved aviation organization in Nigeria. Academy, training people on flying drones. And actually, they started processing approved training organization. We stopped it. We say approved training organization, it's sounding like a training organization for manned aviation. We don't want to confuse that. For manned aviation, because they are type certificated, people that fly them need to hold license. They need to be trained by an approved training organization. They have to go to approved training school. So, how do you now deal with those aircraft that are not type certificated? So we have an approved aviation organization provision within the 2021 regulations that have enabled Apple to be able, under AAO, to be able to train people. As a matter of fact, if they want to go into aircraft manufacturing, they can also do it under that umbrella. But of course, if the RPA now gets to the level of type certificated, we will now have to regulate it properly. Today is a remarkable day that we are standing on this stage with ONSA and declaring the drone portal open. Please, let's clap for ONSA, because without them, we wouldn't have been able to achieve that. It has been a long journey to achieve that. At some point, it had to be put on pause to make sure that all the security checks have been put in place. So today, fast forward many years down the line, for us to have achieved that, I tell you now with Apple, look like the presentation he made on behalf of the ONSA. Yes. Now when you go to ONSA, they send you back to NCA first of all. You have to do some preliminary, you have to go through some preliminary for us to establish who you are. And then when we recommend that to Apple, you are as good as what? ONSA, you are good as what? Yes. So basic order security profile checks will be done and then you are good. You know, so I want to really appreciate this. So I don't know the end. You know this drone, you say framework. If it doesn't have framework, you don't have to pull me out of the stage now to move. The only thing I would say is that we publish a dozen, the one on the table here, that one. Please, it contains a lot of information. I want you to take time to go to, I want to say now, fortune. The drones that are operating now, I said, they are outside the normal category. So what we'll be dealing with here in Nigeria, even in terms of the framework, it's going to take a long time for us to have framework that will be equivalent to the manned aviation. We already have that. To be sincere, we already have that. Because I have an X6.4 has been promulgated and it's already standard. So, you say I should make a few remarks. I know I've gone beyond the but thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, you did it. Yes. Okay. Yes, we can now. Okay. Yeah. So the idea of the framework is for every evolving industry. It presents there's a need for a blueprint of the vision of the nation. And if you look, for instance, today, and there is an announcement going around the world that the best drone technology country in the world is where? No? Ukraine evolved out of the ashes of a war. So which means, but they have an ambition and it's been there. And also you can see around. Now, there are cities in China that are already, they have an ambition in maybe like 2050 or 2030, 2050 is long, 2050 to have what we call the full-scale urban air mobility. So for every city that is congested, lower level travel by drones will become part of the mode of transport. It's an ambition. And so while we are talking, they are creating the UTM. They are mapping and putting all sensors all over the place. In California or San Francisco, for instance, experiments to have, unmanned cars, driverless cars, was put in place as an ambition of the city. In UK and Germany, I work closely with a German organization who is a sponsor of, they have, in the airports, they have what they call a lab camp. In a German airport, they have what they call a lab camp, where they have technology incubators for youths on drone. And they have it also in city now, an old city that they converted to do that. I think one or two people, some people were here with us on a visit to such place. It's a national ambition, okay? And this national ambition, you can read on their policy framework that this is what we want to do in this number of years. And now coming back close home, in Rwanda you have that. As a matter of fact, in the two last drone conferences, the Advanced Air Mobility in Montreal, which you were there, you found out that Saudi Arabia is taking a prime position at every discussion on UAV. They are taking, and it's not on military, but on civil. So Saudi and UAE are actually at struggle. The UAE had overtaken the Saudi and today, but that is on one. Now, Saudi Arabia is looking at creating new cities that will compete, and Oman Advanced Air Mobility is their target. Okay? What do you call that? A national ambition. How do you create that? A policy framework. Because politicians only understand policy framework. All these technical jargons we are talking about doesn't add up on their table. What adds up on their table is that this policy framework will create jobs, it will create advancement, and it will make us look good. And we have to design it for them. And if we don't design it and we let it be designed from outside, then of course it will not drive the technical progress which we are looking for. I'm looking at what they call developmental consultancy, how it progresses. Things like this, we cannot be, for instance, I'll give you another example. We're talking about conformity certification of drones, right? Yesterday. Now, there is no drone that you will use in Europe that will come without a CE stamp. And each of these CE stamp will tell whoever that is buying it that this drone conforms to this level of categories and classification. And if your license or your, if you do fly ID and all that, does not conform with that CE, then you cannot fly it. So these are level of subtle regulation that you put in place through what? Through the policy framework. Because this is not, the CE may look like a trade certification, which is under standard organization, right? A different agency completely, but it helps custom, it helps the CA, and it helps the private sector. Okay? But this must come. And so for that reason, what is there, whenever you want to want to import a drone to Europe, the first thing he will check is the manufacturer. Do you have that CE? If it's not, it will not come in, and the customs will not allow it. It's just like the sun cap by the standard organization. So these are the things, and multi-sectoral, multi-dimensional, and multi-levels. And the only way you cannot do that is not in the regulation, because you have already said here, the regulation is rigid. It takes process to amend them. But however, a policy framework is dynamic, is flexible. It takes care of progress, advancement, roadmap, and deliverables, and also development in all cases. So that is my response. That's why when we keep pushing on it and explaining it so that we can understand it, that we need a concept, a complete profile. And when people see, they know, yes, Nigeria is looking at doing manufacturing drones of their own. In the year 2030, we don't want to import drone. And when we say it in a policy framework, what happens? Research teams from Europe who want to look for extra market will come here to network with our universities. That, okay, you want to manufacture, we've got research work, but we cannot test it. I think Captain Akishet is here. If he's here, he will testify that we went to place a research hub for young people and drone UAVs, and we have a lot of them in Germany who have done a lot of work in drone. But do you know what? The regulation does not allow them.
And enforcement is key, which is my first question without going to Engineer Bala. I know Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority is doing quite a lot, and we're very pleased with the progress we're seeing, and it's being rolled out. One of the things I would say, you did mention while you were speaking, the need for a flexible framework, right? And I quite agree with that. From the security and safety point of view, security point of view, the overarching objective of our operation still lies with security and safety. So while we're trying to make this framework as flexible as we can be, I hope adequate consideration is made to cater to safety, right? Case in point, we have unlicensed drone operators, right? We have licensed drone operators. There was a conversation around flyer ID yesterday, and a lot of these things are a good step in the right direction. But to the degree that are we taking adequate steps to ensure that safety is key or paramount? Now, when some people may suggest that when you do have a flyer ID now, you don't need to get trained anymore. Again, while that addresses open category, does that remove the inherent risk in, operating in the national airspace? So I'd like for you to, two questions now, I'll paraphrase and we ask again, is I hope in the interest of flexible framework, the regulators or the stakeholders are taking into consideration safety and security as paramount tenants of all the things we're trying to do. Then secondly is, how do you sort of balance the need for being flexible as well as also managing the inherent responsibility of the CA?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So I've been like in safety management for some time, and I'd like to be very honest, and if I'm wrong, I will be corrected. Some statements I make sometimes appear to actually deviate from the norm, right? Many people say safety, security is number one. And I tell you what, it's just part of it. But I tell you, when people say their businesses, safety and security is not number one. It's the cannot. But security, safety are primary considerations. What do I write and make myself clear? You know, because, you know, you have a population of over 220 million people. And even when you look at also they are propagated, food security, so on and so forth. People have food, security issues go down. And I also want to allay some of our fears with respect to the policy framework. NCS leading that, but I tell you, who instigated it is UNSAS. UNSAS actually instigated like about 6-point items that were pushed NCA to actually implement. One of them is the framework. And thanks to that push, that was since 2024 or 2022. Since then, that's what has brought us to where we are today. The registration portal was one of the items that was highlighted as one of the items they pushed. Yes. Another item on it was research and development, promotion of research and development within the country. You get it? All those things find their place in the policy, and you don't have to worry about convincing the Office of the National Security Advisor because they actually promoted them. They promoted local manufacturing too. And since they made that point, what we've been doing within the NCA operates within what they call the 8 safety critical elements. It's the law. The law gives the CAA the powers to make any regulations they need to establish sustainability in the country. No need to go back to the parliament. So there's no excuse. The powers are given. So that's checked. The second part now are the safety regulations. From the NCA perspective and the regulations of DGR, when I beg to be fair, you get it, that regulations are so. The last one we issued was 2023. 2 months ago, we issued what the civil aviation order. We covered all other aspects of the regulatory piece that the country requires, especially on the UAV. The 2023 regulation restricted itself to remotely pilot licenses. The order that was just issued by the DG 2 months ago took care of remotely piloted aircraft competency certificate. To what the industry requires now. The current regulation requires us to issue remotely, what do they call it? Remote pilot aircraft operator certificate. Remote pilot ROC is something that is meant as a category of roles. It doesn't fit the kind of activities that are going on in the country. So we issued out in that civil aviation order unmanned UAS operator certificate. You get it? That is being issued. It's already out. You get it? So your next renewal of your ROC will come out with the UAS. We are promoting the AAA. More people are coming. And you know, Nigeria is just a humble country. I'm so shocked. There are so many things going on in this country that you are hailing Rwanda and hailing so many other countries. Okay. But I tell you, because we know, some of the people doing some activities, including drone design and manufacturing, today within Nigeria, not outside. I was baffled by something I saw in Turkey. At the time I came to Nigeria, I visited the production facility here in Green Marine. You get it? So it's to enable the laws. It's to enable the laws. The magazine I told you we publish here, normally you would have seen only the certified people in that magazine. We have people that are not yet certified but undergoing certification. Now that we're bringing it to the fore and promoting them, come publish. Don't worry, we'll work with you. You know, while that window is there for you to work. The company is doing a lot of things. Recently, and the minister talked about the multi-agency task force. You get it? They call it a task force. Sometimes it's scary, right? But actually, it's awareness. You know, you are given approvals, respond to the approval, use the approval to the limit to which you are going. So from the 18th, that's what we're going around the country to do awareness. They will start first with the approved operators, and then we now proceed to this thing. So many things are not talked about. The policy framework, the DG pronounced is being processed already within the NCC. At the task force level, that one is already going. He mentioned being a member of the framework. You get it? Do you understand? So we're in a situation now where the government is moving. Yes, it's moving to the private operators to see, let's work together to make this thing happen because our people are fired up to get this thing done. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have one final question for you. For you, sir. Okay.
NSID also.
I will sort of finish with here then. Okay, so it's a lot of things you mentioned today. What I would just like to perhaps start with respect to my question to you is the need for continuous education and engagement of the stakeholders and enforcement. I know right now there's been a window to correct a lot of things that may have gone wrong. I think it's the right step in the right direction. However, when that time elapses, there has to be strict enforcement of the new, this is the way we want to do stuff going forward. I do hope that the CA will have a capacity there. As much as we are talking about this framework, we must also include enforcement in it. Because the reason why a lot of those countries work is because they have enforcement. People know that by nature, you cannot do certain things in China, they will carry you. And that's because the government has done a lot to educate people. And also, if you're in defiance, you will be prosecuted. So we need to also, as we're discussing this, enforcement is also should be a very big subject on the table for our discussion.
So I mean, it's well said. I mean, since we started from the campaign, we announced it every Thursday at 10 a.m. we do what we call an exploratory meeting on Zoom. Because many of the users of this, if you realize, they're not really people that you see in very much. They are young boys, Maiduguri, Kaduna, all corners of this country. You know that they may not be able to travel to Abuja to attend meeting with the regulator. The truth they're having is they're just managing themselves. So what we do with them, we don't scare them with the word enforcement. You know, we open the door. Every Thursday, the key is what it requires in a very simplified way. Some of them are so scared, but by happening with them, they get more relaxed. You get it? But definitely, the way NCA works, and also I'm sure the rest, who they did not approve, on what basis? Do you understand? On what basis? You need to educate them, and then you now need to approve them, and then you now need to enforce system. So the certified category, and please, I'm also watching the certified category. Sometimes when you already have the certificate, then the shout for enforcement comes louder. You get it. You get it. But at some point, also, you are not certified. You get it. So let's try and open the door, promote everyone to come. But definitely, it's not going to be forever. It's not going to be forever. So we are going to So thank you very much for the question.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think it tells you, but I'd like to also say this, that on the subject, we tried to use the word systemic control. When we talked about drone proliferation and security implications, we ended it with systemic control. Systemic control is an integrated process of having enforcement integrated into your system. I tell you, a lot of countries go through this. That is why in some countries, you see, they don't call it, some don't call their police force. They just call it police. Some just say, and England, I think sometimes you hear them, Scotland Yard. Yeah? Scotland Yard just looks like when you go and eat beans and banana, but of course you know what that means. If you find yourself in Scotland Yard. So these are systemic way of actually not putting a face to enforcement. In our procedure, we like it to be integrated, we like it to be systemic. Annex 19, which is the last annex of the Civil Aviation Organization, yes, annexes, recommends a systemic and integrated structured safety management system. And so also in our procedure for enforcement, we must put it in place. Like I was saying, I know when I look at a lot of policy framework, you will see it subtly presents what you can do and what you cannot do. It subtly presents your role and your responsibility. It tells you, this is, for instance, it will capture something like drone zone mapping, which will tell you the level of authorizations you require to fly in certain areas. It's not prohibited, but you must obtain certain level. So beyond registering, owning your ROC or whatever your certificate is, flying is a different thing entirely because you are approaching the airspace. And so you need another agency, which is NAMA. And so in this case, if the areas of the country is well zoned through the process, you will find out that as you move through, it will tell you, you know what, you are such meters away or kilometers away from the airport, you cannot fly. It is completely prohibited. You are such meters or kilometers away from something like the prison. You may think that, is it not just prison? Say like what they thought. But that is not true. The prison is restricted. So you need to get certain authorization. You are away from church gathering, you are away from exhibition centers where they may have like 1,000 people congregating. You need certain authorization it is not completely prohibited, but you need certain level. These are the kind of things you expect on the policy frameworks also to address. You want to make a point?
Yeah, just again, government also is not, they do things they keep quiet. You don't have to step up. Again, coming from the agency task force, the designation of, we've already discussed that. The lack of designated areas like drone zones you talked about. As I talk to you, there's a letter that has gone out from ONSA. You see, I'm talking on behalf of ONSA. We're talking from the same committee. There's a letter that has gone out from ONSA to NAMA to actually identify and designate areas for this kind of stuff. So maybe more talks like this will give you opportunity, for us to know the other things that are happening. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, yes, we proceed to NSIB. I've heard, just to compliment you, madam, we've heard your presentation, and then, are we looking into the future of a central, because if you go to European portal, you will find what they call drone voluntary reporting system, incident or accident reporting system. If you cite something that is not ordinary. It's to the public. You can report it. You don't have to own a drone. You can report it. It's considered, you find a drone in a, when you think it's not unauthorized, you can report it. So this data helps continuous analysis, and in the case where there is a serious incident or accident, is the future preparing us for that? Do you think the future is preparing us for that?
Okay, thank you very much. At least the one thing is change is constant. And we already have a similar link like that on our website, but just for normal accident investigation, for anything you see, say something about it. We have for the marine, we have for the air, we have for the marine and what do you call it? Oil blocks.
Okay,
pipelines. So, of course, we can always have something for the nation. The platform is already there, just to implement it on the site. That is all.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Alan wants to make.
Yes, so you may also not be aware, but Nigeria is, we just completed the ICAO population mission. Part of the preparation of that mission, and part of the gap that we discovered before the mission, was the lack of a central data collection and processing system. So, and you can check your website now, so that we're not lying. NCASMS.com. NCASMS.com. So it's a portal for safety, not just the portal. So if you go into that portal, you open right there. On your right down, you will see public reporting. Under that public reporting, you don't need any login details. Anything you see wrong, with drone or aircraft or anything, you just log in there, you make the report, and then it will log into the system and so on. And we get an alert. NSIP gets the alert automatically, NCA gets the alert automatically, so that we can jointly review it.
Are we extending this to the wider non-special people organization like NSS? The SMS pool, is it available?
Yes. Once you are a holder of an NCA certificate, yes, we did a public engagement, right? It's up, it's running. When you go, you can see it now. The thing is that once you hold our own certificate, we will give you a specific handle. We will give you a handle that you can use within your company, so that when you make the report will be classified under your organization automatically for the purpose of training. Then we'll know how many reports have come from you, and then we're able to make comparative analysis between yourself and others. As I said, you go into the website that I gave you now, you will see the
NCASMS.com. You can actually look it up. Okay, now to our my very good friend, Mr. Labara. Look, first I'm going to take you up on the next the next drone. The flyer is already out in 2027. I think it's about on the 20th to the 20th to the 23rd of May 2027. We have to shift a bit. We normally do it at the first week of May, but we're going to go towards the end of May because we realize the oil companies in Nigeria have a tradition to go to an event called the OTC, okay, in Texas. So we have Nigerian content development who has called us to say, look, you know, because they do support this in the past and they are not there, and because we are consistently putting it about the same time they are in OTC. So for the oil companies, please take your word back, because right now we're no longer talking only on the safety implications, We are talking about creating job, business opportunities for our teeming youths, and they are clients, so they should be around, and so we are going to make sure that next year we start early and they are here. But so we also got inquiries from other countries to showcase in the next drone tech, and so are we going to take it up with you in terms of providing us that temporary permit for people to come and showcase on the level of use and return, or use and return, or otherwise research-based temporary. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fortune. I mentioned that I'm part of the policy framework, which is superheaded by the Office of the National Security Advisor. We started the framework, I think that was 2 weeks ago. That is the first phase. So I believe that the second phase, people like you will be called upon. So all this actually have been put in place. I believe before 2027, as you mentioned, all those permits will be ready. But before then, actually, even now, if you want to bring any drone for temporary occupation, there is a way that we can give you a permit, that temporary permit. But the truth is that now we have to send you to NCA, we have to send you to ONSA, we have to send you to this, so that in case of incasity, if you violate the time or the period given to you, we know how to get you back. So, but that one is going to be feasible. I promise you that the next exhibition, you are going to invite a lot of your friends from Kenya, from Rwanda, as you mentioned, to come for this exhibition. Because the way the drones industry is growing, I told my good Oga and friend here that I'm not encouraged with the numbers. 2024, that was the last time I came here, and the numbers were more than this. And the numbers of drones we have as of 2024 are smaller than what we are seeing today. The reason why, when I told you the numbers, if I would give you a clear numbers of drones that we see from 2024 to today, you know that drones is becoming something else in the country. So I expected to see times 5 of the numbers that we have here. So which means that we are going to intensify our enforcement. And for the young guys, actually, Mr. Fortune is doing good for you, because the policy that the government or the NSA is driving now is going to favor you a lot, most especially the young drone Nigeria. You people have certification, and before that time, you discover that if somebody go out for enforcement, see you, by the time you show him yes, you have a certificate, that is #1 aspect of it. And the Apple, please, I don't know, do you have a training in Abuja, a training school?
We're certainly talking.
Please, it's very good, because so that let us balance between Lagos and Abuja. We have a lot of young guys that are coming up for videography and all that things. They would love to go into your school and obtain some certificate. Because actually, by the time the policy start working, if you don't have any certificates, you cannot fly drones. Because when you fly drones, we already have a task force. Yes, already have a task force, so we can.
We know what to do.
We know what to do when we do. All right, so I promise you that the next exhibition, bring the list.
Yes.
Bring up the list of all your friends from all different countries that want to come for exhibition. So we'll see what we can do for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now,
just to add to what he has said again, I actually think there should be like an online platform that you should be able to, how would I put it now? You should be able to make inquiry of a pilot, I mean the drone pilot. Let me say, for instance, somebody flying in my house, and I ask you, what are you doing? Say, I'm a licensed pilot. How do I verify? I do a cross check. Anybody can just come beside my building.
That's what the flyer ID is actually going to address.
I think the SCA code Dr. will address that.
Yes. Well, the flyer ID actually aims to address that because we talked about it yesterday.
Yes, I heard.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing that, could you please, when you're doing the flyer ID, it should be with pictures, please.
Oh, yes.
So that if I'm seeing it online and I'm looking at your face, that will correspond.
Yes. So you can see now that we, like I said yesterday, when we're presenting it, we said Nigeria not the carry last. In other countries' flyer ID, it only just has the number, right? But in Nigeria, what we are doing, what we have, I mean, the what do you call it? The proposed ID which we showed here will have a level of security profile, a level of biometric profile, level of, and then level of text. The profile understand the regulation. It will help us to reduce the issue of proliferation and also bring people out from the closet. But the final question I want to ask you, Mr. Labara, is, you mentioned the figure in terms of seizures within Apapa alone. How much is that?
In Apapa, that was 2025.
Yes.
Between January to April, we seized drones worth 900 million.
900 million.
Yes.
You can
Just only in Apapa. I think even 2 months ago, Kano, Federal Operation Unit here, we seized some drones as well. Yes. So on daily basis, we are seizing drones. So even when we want the policy, the national policy document to start working, because it has spelled everything out. Everybody is included. So by the time it starts working, you should know that this is a drone that you can bring to the country. You cannot do this, you cannot do this, so that we can save your money. But presently, we are just only working with the power getting of the end user certificate power. When you don't have it, you seize your drone. So that is it.
Anyway, I think
Thank you very much, sir. First of all, I want to thank you for organizing this event because with enforcing laws and awareness and relating people is getting everybody to be aware of what the law says, your responsibility towards implementing the law. So it's not just the government, it's a whole of society approach to development and security. So I thank the organizers of this event for this opportunity for not just awareness but all the government, so many agencies are doing and what the laws and requirements are. I've learned some one or two things here as well and the opportunity for networking and awareness. So I think it's something that needs to be encouraged and sustained, and so to the organizers I say thank you. And with respect to my area, which is security, national security, when you look at what's happening in the country and around the world, you understand the importance of security and the innovativeness of wrong actors. You understand? So, while understanding the opportunities it brings, that drone technology brings to the function, it's trying to strike a balance with the security needs as well. And we are taking a multi-agency approach, as you can see from contributions that we made by the panelists. We're not just doing it on our own, we're working with other agencies, and they are working with us with the multi-agency task force, and we have a history history of collaboration to deal with new things that come up and in the country. So please, I'm sharing cards and giving a lot of information to benefit maximally from this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for him. If you would permit me, I just want to make a remark, more like a recognition for. We have one of us who was from the beginning of Tecx, a pioneer and a supporter to the success of this program. Engineer Ajiboye is here. Please, can you please be upstanding to be recognized? I'm very delighted you're here to see what we all started, that is still up and going. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Madam, do you want to do final remark?
One question each.
Okay.
So quickly for yourself. During your presentation, you mentioned that you encourage reports, accident reports or incident reports, and the intent is not to blame people for having accident or incident. So I wanted to ask, how is NSID managing the repository of incidents that have been reported, and how has this translated to communicating the safety improvements that you see all the time? So report an incident, now report an incident. So I'm assuming that there's a lesson learned register or something like that people can benefit from. Otherwise, how is that managed?
So, okay, I cannot use drone as an example now because we don't have a drone accident. But when it comes to aviation and maritime, if there's an accident and you report it, so what happens is we look for the root cause the accident, and is there systematic? Is it human failure? Is it training, inadequate training? We will not get the root cause of what caused the accident. They will not try to fix the human failure or whatever it is. We have to go for more trainings. We have to do so that particular thing will occur. So that we go for drone. Of course, we don't have any drone for that. But this is the system that happens with aviation, that happens with maritime as well. So of course, we still implement the same thing. So if you are doing a drone pilot, in the course of your flying, something occurred, you have to do the root cause why it occurred. Not because we blame you, but because we want to know what happened so that we can put it on for this and the requirement we think you should have so that the experiences that we had previously are not record.
All right, thank you very much. May I? Okay, all right. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. So my question to you is with respect to counter-UAS equipment. Counter-UAS like drone jammer and all the right. So is there a policy or waiver in place that Custom is using now to perhaps bring in those counter-UAS equipment? Because I know that they can both be used for civilian and military uses. So is there a framework or policy or a waiver in place that will allow for the importation of counter-UAS equipment?
Actually, we don't have waiver for anything because we have what we call IDEC. If you have anything for waiver, you can go into the IDEC portal under Federal Ministry of Finance, put everything, but drones were not captured on it. But presently, because it is a kind of a national issue, if you have anything like the drone jammers, as you mentioned, before the policy framework document is out, you can still go to the Federal Ministry of Finance. They will advise you what to do. But presently, it's not captured part of the waiver. Yeah, we want to bring more of
Thank you very much. Please, just a few questions so we can round up. Take the microphone to the board. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. very brief. My name is Ayo Olukoni, and as my controller Brown was speaking, I was in touch with Brussels. Our controller, who is representing us, that is Bali. We work closely together, and thank you very much. I used to be the DG Nasima, and I would like to see you later, because members of Nasima who had problems at this particular period had raised the issue. So I would like to see you and talk to you about it later on how to resolve the problem. Like they said, in the aviation sector, those of us who are below, many of them run into what they call CAT, clear air turbulence, because of absence of policies. So I would like to later see you on that so that we can resolve it. NSIB, as we were speaking, I asked AI, what year did the Church of TB Joshua collapse? And what reasons were given for the collapse? I was serving as High Commissioner of Nigerian Australia when it happened. And AI went on to say, yeah, this building collapsed 12 September 2014. It was a nine-story building, Officials given by Lagos Corolla said that it was because it's an aging building. And then there was a section of it, very interesting, what TB Joshua said of the time. The Synagogue Church of All Nations claimed the collapse was caused by sabotage involving a strange aircraft that hovered over the building before it fell. Then they released video showing a plane flying the building. We all know the story. Madam, you have raised the question of a large number of that aircraft, NSIB. Can you let us know what exactly happened? It still happened. Because in the days of the drones, because I got requests. The South Africans took us up. And of course, at the end of the day, we had problems. Then finally, Mark raised the question of enforcement in terms of SAP. Just in terms of development of policy framework, and then the enforcement happened. I was part and parcel of the environment issue. Creation of NESVIA, the National Standard Enforcement Agency. We do not get the report. We do not, the NSA and the NESVIA have problem in terms of enforcing environment. So it is something which I would like to also start engage you with in terms of development of the framework and then the implementation. Because enforcement is key. Those are just my few comments.
Thank you.
I would like to engage you.
All right. Next question, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Olujonobu. I'm a drone operator. I'm applying for a license. Sir, I just wanted to clarify two things with you. One, you mentioned that when we're bringing in drones, we need the end user certificate from ONSA. Now, in the process of applying to NTA for our permit to operate, we already have clearance from ONSA to operate drones in the country. Is it that same one that we're going to present to you, or is per import that you need a separate EUC for each import, or is it this one already obtained? That's one. Secondly, you talked about that right now you cannot bring in a drone that has a takeoff weight of more than 150 grams, I think you said. 250. Okay. What's going to happen? Some of us are already thinking beyond that, way beyond that. So maybe that would be for you and the task force. You know, you're saying the framework should be flexible. What happens in UAE, China? I'm sure you know they are doing way beyond that. What are you thinking along those lines for those of us who are thinking of bigger things than all these toys? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Michael Uke. I'm here on behalf of Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Energy.
If you notice, it looks like we are the end users. We are the ones that make sure the economic value of most of the operators here today, and it makes sense. I see G talk about safety, security is important, but the bottom line is business, and which is very, very important. My suggestion, one, will be the NAIB, if there is a need for them to have a repository where people, there have been a lot of drone crash, both big, small, and all that, but nobody records it. Yes, some few big players try to record it. We that provide assurance to make sure that our sites are safe, we also make sure we push that implementation. But as a country, we need to start to learn from incident and accident that happens. That's the only way tomorrow we can now say, oh, we need this kind of standard of RPAS to come in, or we need this. That's the only way. We need to have a repository. That's one. Two, this one to you, Fortune. I know you said something, you made a pledge and all that. You need also the bigger player, the players that bring bread and butter to the table, to bring them in here. The NLNG, Seplat, Renaissance, these are the end users. These are people that will come, see, and be able to make sure that it's business on the table for these people. They need to be here, they need to be there to tell their stories as well. We need the stories. There's a lot of success stories which this RPAS drone have brought about. We need to start talking about it, and that's the way it improves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is George Joe, and I am a member of the Drones Niger community. So, first of all, right, I will start with the particular problem that we faced this morning. Because I want to be a lawful and abiding citizen of this country, I've registered my drone through the RPAS.
Hey.
And I have gotten a notification to pay. Now, the to pay, which you made mention yesterday, that I don't need to go to Abuja to start paying, almost taking flight from Lagos to go to Abuja to get certification and all those things. Now there is another challenge. Now, if we have an RRR that is supposed to be that something that you can generate within a short period of time, now I can go into a bank and just say, okay, I want to pay so amount of money. How do I go about it? So I have the first problem I faced today was I couldn't pay because I am not cooperating with UBA, and the UBA bank is the next bank closer to my house that I don't need to go next place and all those things. Now integration of all these platforms can help us. Like you have payout platforms. One, you have Paystack, you have Flutterwaves, you have all those things are just 1 second setup. I am not a heavy coding guy, but I was able to have a platform that I set up my Flutterwaves within 20 minutes in my own house, presenting my certificate of operation and all those things. And yet, people that are doing business with me were able to pay, and I'm getting the returns. So I believe with big company like NCAA, we are not supposed to be going into the bank to generate RRR. These guys too give us the same kind of figures that the bank will give us, and they will return the money back to one platform. So that is one among the questions. And secondly is that we have all discussed about this whole framework and activities that are going to give us more things, because like everybody sitting down here either have one niche or the other. That is why we are here together to have a conversation. Because we in the drone space, because I will tell you something, if my father is alive today, you'll be proud of me to say that, okay, the pilot that I wanted to be, I didn't do it in the bigger space, I'm doing it in the smaller space, and I'm happy that I'm going somewhere. Because tomorrow, they didn't say that at 45 I cannot become a pilot. I can, because of passion that I have towards the airspace. But with this all policies that I don't think as if the whole country is actually having a sync database and policies rearrangement. Now, ONSA have its own, Custom have its own, NCAA has its own. How are we supposed to merge this so that we will not be having problems from left, right, and center? Now, as an unmanned aircraft, below 250 grams, I don't need an end user. Why am I getting my drone being seized from the custom? Now, I understand that even the police have its own. You will be moving because you own a DJI, but to seize there and say that you are not supposed to be using this. Now I have registered this. I am praying to God that I'm not going to have issue with police or a NAMA or a DSS or whosoever law enforcement agency, because I remember a day I was flying to Kano. I was stopped at the airport to return back my drone, and I agree with them because one, I don't have a certificate to move with the drone. I said, okay, what can I do? Say, you can't take it out. I returned it back to the person who brought me to the airport. I said, I will go to Kano, then I will go and rent the drone and fly it in Kano. Reason because I want to avoid trouble. So please help us to arrange these things so that it will be a sync for us in the lower community that we don't have access. And sir, this question is to you, sir, from NCAA. You have a regular meeting you do on Thursdays. Trust me, I was dumbfounded here that I don't even know about this. This actually could have helped us in a community of about 390 people to put it in there to say that, okay, there is a society. This information is for you to get information so that to better the economy of this country. We're not only doing this thing to just do our cravings, we're doing it also to get small naira and kobo into our pocket. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well spoken. I think, is there anyone? I think
yes, there's one more, sir. Sorry.
One shot more.
Yes, sir. My name is Martins from Jones, Nigeria. I have a couple of questions. First of all, my first question will be to the Oga from NSIP. Sir, there are always drone accidents and incidents in Nigeria. And what I want to ask specifically is that what frameworks does NSIP have for us to report those accidents? Because there are so many accidents. Let me just put that one to you first and foremost. Then also too, I have a question to the Oga from Nigerian Customs. We always have this problem, like my friend here said, there is a disconnect between all this plenty English we are speaking here and what goes on the streets and on the roads. Because Nigerian Customs is saying, oh, drones for 250 grams is exempt. But I have had my Mini seized in the Nigerian airport. Mini is 249 grams, and it was seized, and we were going back and forth, and I left it because it was a small drone. That drone is today. So a challenge. Also, sir, you said if somebody is coming from Ghana or from any other country to Nigeria, the person needs a permit for his drones. Permit from whom? From what agency specifically? Is it from the Nigerian Customs, or from the NSA, or from what organization specifically? So that's for the order from the Nigerian Customs. Okay, so my last question is, what to the order from NCA? Now we have a portal where we flyer ID and operator ID. First thing, that link, the URL for that portal is not working. We've tried it. I understand this is a launch, but that one is not working. Also too, what feedback channels have been created? Me personally, I want to test the system. When I've registered my drone and I've done my operator ID and flyer ID, when it comes out, I would want to fly with my drone. And if it is seized, what channels do we have to give feedback to NCA to say, SARS, please, this noble initiative that has been brought up, it is not working, my drone has been seized. Because we need feedback channels. Because when we talk here like this and we just say it and it's okay, all well and good, we are sitting in an issue. The reality, myself and my group members face these challenges every day with our drones. So please, what feedback channels are there for us to give feedback back to the system and for some fine-tuning to be done. Also too, sir, please, I would like to plead on behalf of me and or hundreds of my members, in future, if we can be carried along when these things are at discussion stages, to say, how do you see? Because at the end of the day, it's almost seeming like this industry is catered to ROC holders and those few pilots that service those ROC holders. There are 700 plus. I have groups in the east that are 400 plus pilots. So it's seeming like the industry is leaving us behind. We are playing catch up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So
let me start with my big brother here. So I will start with your second question. I think on the course of my presentation, you did not get me clearly. What I'm saying here is that drones that have the carrying capacity. The carrying capacity means that this is the drone. Just hold on. This is the drone, and the payload that it can pick up, that it can carry up. So if that drones, the only one that we have in our tariff, and the tariff is the global tariff, is maximum is 150 kg. Maximum. That one you have to get end user, you have to pay duty, etc., etc. You have to get your security clearance. But maximum, I don't even know if they can even give you for that, because that one is used for suicide mission. But the maximum carrying up capacity weight of that drone that we have in our book is 150 kg. That is it. So then the first question you asked was the end user certificate. The end user certificate actually is given to you per the drone you are importing. That end user certificate has a timeline. So if the end user certificate expired, you cannot use it to go and bring any other drones because it has already expired. So the NSC office that is going to give you the end user certificate, you must have registered with NCAA, telling NCAA that this is the numbers of drones you want to bring, this is this, and then they will give you the end user certificate. As soon as it expires, the end user certificate is supposed to even be for one drone, but I believe that they have a way of putting everything in order. So let me quickly go to sorry, so that I can okay, you mentioned, you talk about the framework. The framework is just a new policy guide that we are trying to do for your own benefit, for the benefit of everybody in the country. Because drones, you can use drone for good, you can use drone for bad. So everything you mentioned, the National Security Advisor, looking at it, that it is something serious, has already started their work. If you had me, I say that I think that was last week, Thursday, we just concluded the first stage of the policy document. So it has some stages that I was just trying to tell my friend here that there's a stage that we are going to bring stakeholders from the outside the security agency. But the first one was the security agency, NCAA was represented, NEMA was represented, NCC, everybody, police, everybody was represented. So everything concerning the issue of drones is going to be fitted inside that. And the issue of exhibition, who do you ask, where did you get the permit for exhibition? The policy framework document will identify the agency that is going to be a lead. Because what we do is that each and every agency has a leading agency and has a supporting agency. So it will be able to tell you that this is the agency that will give you that permit for drone importation. So it's small. Thank you.
Okay, quick one to you. So 2014, it was actually AIB, and although AIB visited the site, but no investigation was conducted. Of course, I don't know the reason why the investigation was not conducted, but I just believe maybe because, I don't know, with spirituality or something, because there was actually no main evidence linking it that it was actually the aircraft that caused the accident. It was just, an aircraft hovered around and the place collapsed. But of course, after that incident, we've not had anything similar to that. That is one. And somebody asked about how do you report accidents, not just drone accidents, all kind of accidents, be it on marine, air, drone. You just go to NSIP website, which is nsip.gov.ng. When you go under that dark red column, you see report an accident. You can click on it and you do any reports there, and we'll get it immediately. Thank you.
Okay, I can also make, just in addition to what he said, please, Oga, hello, just in addition to what he said, you know, there was no crash. There was no crash. There was sighting by somebody who claimed that the plane hovered around and building collapsed. There was no crash. So it wouldn't fall under the AI for investigation in that case. And then, you know, and then secondly, yes, there is no, was there evidence? There was no evidence. It was sighted. It's UFO. So let's leave it at that. Thank you very much. So can we? Yeah. No. Then Lagos State. So Lagos State NEMA then takes over. With there was fire will join them. You know, and all that. But when it comes to this, that an aircraft flew over you and there was a volcano, it's not likely that you're going to send your aviation accident investigation to investigate the volcano because they flew over it. So I think that's my own take. So we will.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to make a comment?
There are questions for me here. There are questions for me, and let me just stand up, you know, to make this comment. But I take this meeting very, very seriously. That's why we've decided to come here. And also, we are talking to our own youth. You know, Nigeria is a country. I used to have a boss, Engineer Odushelu. He used to say, after God, is government. No? Don't take it as a joke. And ignorance of the law does not spare you. Don't take it as a joke. There is NCA. All these agencies are set up by law. All you need to do is to write. Don't say that they are not attending to me, they are not this, they are not this, I will do what. Hey, when the thing reach, you won't like it though. Do you understand? So, yeah, please, this is not a threat. This is just what it is. Anything a country has written into law, look for it, especially if it's giving you food on your table. Look for wherever the statutory requirements are and seek to comply. Writing policy, designing a drone. In fact, it's the simplest thing for the citizens to do. But there's a major risk that can crumble the whole of that your dream. It's true. There's a very big company, a major one within this country. I'm not going to call names. They are doing great things, but because of small, when you talk of the laws of a nation, breaches and do something, you go and advertise. That healing that you receive internationally, it will go to the dustbin. Please. So please, this is very important. NCA is here. We are here. I've told you we'll do these meetings on Thursdays. In the last drone tech, I also said it. But we don't just invite everybody. It's when you approach the NCA and request that you want certification. That is the list that we invite. We're not going to go to the market to know who wants to do that. Do you understand? So I've made the announcement, this meeting takes place on Thursday, but you're not going to get an invitation if you do not send an intent, a letter of intent to the NCA. Okay? Secondly, RRR. You don't hear that in the private sector. As any kind of drone can be designed in this country and will fly tomorrow to anywhere. There are laws of the country. Study the laws of the country and comply with them. Otherwise, you go into trouble for nothing. You get it? RRR, I want to also do it fast. We've been testing this drone portal for 1 year. In fact, she started it. I personally have on that drone portal just to test to make sure that it's working it's supposed to work, even including the payment system. But you cannot bypass government systems. There's something they call invoice. They will generate an invoice and simplify the process for the invoice to be sent to your email. Then you pay. That your payment is not evidence of payment. Evidence of payment in government cycle is official receipt. You get it? But we've tried to simplify that to use our own people internally. Because you cannot fly from Maiduguri to come. Not that you should not though. Do you understand? If we wanted to be difficult, you would do that. But we still use people to find a way of how to do that. Please let that be appreciated and listened. We're really out to help. Just come back and we'll work with you and then we'll deal with it. The issue of the ONSA has one requirement. Government. So you say ONSA has one set of requirements, NCA has one requirement, customs. If you hear us talking here, sometimes I don't even talk to him. I will just talk on his behalf. Sometimes I won't talk. I will talk on his behalf. Sometimes I will talk. He also will talk on his behalf. If we are not talking, we will not be talking with one voice. So if they are making time to form this policy framework, I'm going to hold meetings. 2 weeks ago, just a government agency. It's for the sake of the government. Government is about economy. They are not about anything else. It's not to frustrate anything. Then let's just appreciate that. And then when you have the opportunity, please, these government agencies, they are not ghosts. They are not ghosts. Please write. They will respond. But if you always think that government is slow, you may never get anything, and you don't get yourself easily hurt. I'm going to revisit the issue of the report, the safety reporting. I've said it here. I gave you the portal. Somebody say adpass.ncaa.gov.ng very loudly. Say the thing is not working. Please let other people try. Is it true? adpass.ncaa.gov. You see, you are mixing things up.
Sorry.
Calm down.
Listen.
Flyer ID is not live.
Yes, it's not live. It's a proposal. Can you?
Calm down.
You're going anywhere. Listen.
Calm down.
Listen. No, there is nothing.
Calm down. Calm down.
Let me take it. There is nothing. Sorry. There is nothing to iron. Listen. Can you please sit? There is nothing. Let me know. I understand. No, wait.
Just
it was done. There is no website. So what is a
concern of proliferation and the growth of operators on the level below 500 grams. And these people are many, just like you said, your Drone Niger community is large and they are not captured. And there is a concern there. And so the solution is what is applicable everywhere in the world. Set up a scheme called the Flyer ID scheme, national flag, that will enable them obtain certain level of awareness, training and certification and receive that. So if you went to that website, that is a draft. Yes. Yes. He has already disseminated that. Where's the microphone? We need to be closing this class.
Yes, sir, and I apologize for that. Like I was saying, we have already disseminated a lot of this information to our members.
Yeah.
That's one. Now, today, when we are told that the site we should need to go to is the nca.rpass.ng.
Yeah.
We went to that portal and it is the same portal. rpass.nca.gov.ng. Yes, it's the same portal that we went to, that we've done our drone registration on. I have registered my drone, I've paid, and I've received the certificate. Yes, I have it in my phone. Yeah. I can show you.
Yes.
Now the issue now is when you say that the Flyer ID registration, and we're seeing the same RPAS registration site.
We don't have, listen, we don't have 2 drone techs in a year, right? We are doing everything possible to compress a discussion that has gone around 366 days of the year in 3 days. All these are subjects different. So yesterday we were looking into Flyer ID, and yesterday we made it clear that today there will be a launching of drone registration portal.
I see. So it's officially launched now.
No, drone registration portal is different from Flyer ID. A drone registration portal deals with drone. Flyer ID deals with people. And that does not exist right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes. I understand that now.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a discrepancy.
Just to be clear, there's Flyer ID for this commercial drone.
Yes.
We totally understand that.
For the recreational one, it's just telling you what is to come.
Coming.
That has not come.
We greatly appreciate that, and we are really looking forward to this because we have a lot of members. There's a lot of things we are seeing online that even we are not happy about. That we as a community are looking at how to stop some of these dubious activities by some of these drone flyers. We are looking at it because it falls back on us. It will fall back on us from your agency. You will look at all of us as being irresponsible when there are people that are physically fighting a lot of this wrongdoing.
Please, write to the. Have you ever written to the NCA before?
We have written once. We have another letter that we're going to present.
Let's write to the NCA. Let's not.
Our letter will be delivered.
Well, it's not that we will call you.
Our letter will be delivered, sir. Our letter will be delivered. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. Please, thank you. Yeah, okay, so let's round off. So thank you very much for this, and then your comment is well noted. The good thing is that, so what the summary of this is that yesterday we talked about individual flyer identification. Okay? Individual flyer identification is a process that identifies you under the less than 250 gram and where you belong. The existing flyer ID that comes with applications for ROC is a commercial operation of a certification process before you achieve that. The next thing we discussed today is about the issue of the launching of the portal, which is an enhancement of your drone registration, that every drone will be identified. The last is the coming of a comprehensive business plan, which is called the policy framework, that will help to create an ambition for the industry in the civil aviation order. Okay? These are the take home from me to you on this event, and I want to say thank you very much to all our balance. I know if I allow you, we will not leave here. He has his number, I will give you. His contact is there. He is the chairman of the Flight Standard Group, under which umbrella we all operate. So yes, he is accessible at all times.
Yes. Just an important announcement so that there is clarity. I've mentioned that we've written a letter to the Office of the National Security Advisor to grant exemption for drones less than 250 grams. That approval has not been granted. Let me be very clear with you guys. So if they seize your drone, they are seizing it based on the existing policy, which we are trying to work. That has not yet been what? Withdrawn. Okay? We need to be very, very clear on that. Okay?
All right, thank you. All right. So please, a round of applause for our team. And we are going to quickly take a group picture. And these days we become scared when we say group picture, because that was what happened the last time. So anyway, we'll take a group picture. And Engineer Joey, please, you are going to come up here with me. I would like you to join us in presenting the certificate for everybody who make a presentation. They become a good speaker. We'll do a good picture of the speakers, then I'll do presentation. Yes. Okay, please. One, two. Hold on. Okay. Okay, for every time we speak, right, we enrich our minds. And we have the honor of presenting certificates for speakers in this occasion. And the DG has enriched our mind today. This certificate presented to the Director General of the Justice and Committee. In no particular order, Captain Ogun Shino, Mr. Godwin, or Engineer Godwin Bala, please stand by. Engineer Bashi Adewale Adeni. Malalu Ubali, please. Malalu Ubali. Engineer Okesubu Moses. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you very much for, yes, thank you very much. And we can do, as we come into our internet, I'd like to recognize a very good friend and an industry player of retreat, Chris Alebe. Please, a round of applause for him. He's here to see us and see how we've progressed. Okay. All right. So, if those who want, let's do a group picture together. Can we come up here? Pictures, please. The delegates should come up. Join us in group picture. Delegates should join us in group picture. And make sure you have your telephone with you. All right, delegates should join us in group pictures, please. Are you interested or not? Are you?
Only you carry to award. Let me drop my phone.
Can you come down here? Okay. Yes. Delegates want. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes.